Hello. So I received a question, and I think it's a good question. I figured if I actually wrote it down, it would take a while. So I want to give you a thorough answer. So I'm taking the time to really do that via video. So the question, let me bring it up real quick, was basically that you have awareness of your limiting belief, but it hasn't been enough to really eliminate them or change them. And that in itself makes sense. But before I say anything, I just want to commend you and give you a high five, because one of the hardest parts is really creating awareness of your belief system and maybe even the impact that it has on your life. Because if you're not aware of it, a lot of our belief systems are unconscious. So those are the things that really hold us back for the most part. So with that said, it is hard to change belief system. It's hard because they've been ingrained in you. There's pleasure that you get from having that belief system, even if it holds you back. And the reason that there's pleasure is because even if the only thing that it provides is certainty, it gives you a known. It's a lot harder to have a different belief system that kind of takes you to the unknown world, where you might not know how things might be, how it might impact your life in whatever different ways that it can. And the fact that it's been reinforced over and over and over again within your life, which makes it hard to let it go for the most part. So then how do you change it? Well, the first step is what you just did, which you created awareness of it by doing different activities to create awareness of that belief system. After you develop an understanding of it, then you have to develop an understanding of what belief system you really want to replace it with. Because the problem is that just awareness is not going to do anything. Awareness might slowly snowball to create change, but it doesn't guarantee change. So you have to have a different belief system that you think it's better than that one, that you think is going to benefit you more than that one, that you're going to be able to replace it with. And the way that you do that is that you actually physically write it down. This is my belief system. I want to change it to this belief system. And that new belief system has to be something that is really pleasurable for you, that you're going to see the benefits to it. So if I change from believing this, and then I change from believing this, there's so much reward in changing to this that is going to be motivational to you. You don't want to push. You want something that's going to pull you, that's going to motivate you, that's going to excite you to have that new belief system. And once you know what that new belief system is, and the reason that it's important to have a new belief system, because unless you have something to replace it with, it's easier to go back to your old belief system, because it's just natural habit, natural pattern that you've created. So once you know the new belief system, then you have to reinforce that belief system, just like you've reinforced the old belief system that's not really serving you. So how do you reinforce that new belief system? You reinforce that new belief system by giving it credibility. And the way that you give it credibility is by having it come up over and over again. For example, if you have a belief system about relationships, now they're chaotic, then expose yourself to relationships that are functional, that are happy, they've been together for 20 years. If you believe that life is about scarcity, then put yourself around abundant people that celebrate life, that have money and that have freedom and all these different things. Whether it's physically exposing yourself to it, or watching videos, for example, or listening to audio books, or whatever it may be that's going to constantly reinforce, yes, this is reality for other people. That means it can be a reality for me. Because if your brain can see credibility, it can see that there's a reality out there that is possible, then it starts planting the seeds for you to be able and willing and open to really change it. The other part of giving credibility is to tell your mind's affirmations. Because if your mind affirms it, if you tell yourself this new belief system and you repeat it to yourself over and over again, you're planting the seed, especially if you use I statements like I feel this way, or I see life this way, or I'm experiencing this. Even if you write it in the future as your future self, in statements that your brain are going to try to create that, because you have a part of your brain, the reticular activating system, that's looking to create whatever goals you tell it to create. So for example, I have a lot of my students or clients and stuff like that actually write themselves where there would be in a year, and write it as if they're actually experiencing that. So, I have experienced this, I have done this, or this is the things that I'm doing in my life. I'm so happy with them, and all the other stuff. Because your brain starts thinking, well, if he's saying he's doing that, if he's saying he's experiencing that, then it must be reality. And the power of affirmations and visualization is so powerful. Think about it this way. If you visualize yourself, there's been studies of people visualize themselves doing exercise with their fingers, for example. And then they had people doing exercise, actually physical exercise. The people that only visualize it, and they exercise with their arms and all these different things, their muscles actually increase by like 30% just by visualizing it, because the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what's not really happening, what you're imagining in your brain. So if you have a new belief system, then you got to reinforce it. Visualize it. See yourself with that new belief system. See yourself experiencing that new belief system, or what it would be, what it feels like. Get excited about it. And again, affirm it. Put it in your window, like in your bathroom, so every morning you see the new affirmation of your statement of who this new person is. And do that. Repeat it over and over again. The other part is, don't wait till you feel like this new you is reality. Start making steps, action steps, and decisions that are based on the new you. So how would the new you, if you have to make a decision on something, or maybe decide or act or do something, then think of how this new you would respond to that. So if, for example, you're having a conversation with someone, something that you might get fired up about, how would the new you react? If the new you is that person that's able to listen, be calm. So when you remind yourself, wait, this is my old me, this is the way that it responds, how would the new me handle this? Because then your brain starts turning. Well, they are new them. How would they handle a situation? And even if you mess up in that situation where you went back to the old you, it's not about beating yourself up. It's about recognizing that's just part of the process. Part of the process of learning. For example, for me, I had to relearn how to view money differently, how to view potential in life differently, how to view opportunities differently. Because I grew up with a scarcity mindset. I had to relearn how to view relationships differently, how to communicate differently, how to view life differently. And all those belief systems took me time. And when I gained new insights, I realized that I want to expand my belief systems to even be greater and bigger. So it's an evolving process. And the better you get at finding a belief system you don't want, finding a belief system you want to change it with, giving it credibility, reinforcing it, and making decisions based on that. So even making action steps. What could you do this week to reinforce the new belief system? What steps can you take? What parts of your routine can you change for that new belief system to become and feel more like a reality? Do I need to surround myself with people? Do I need to join a meetup group? Do I need to join a forum or another group, social group, with people with this new belief system that I want to have and that I have? Because if you state it, again, it's a snowball effect. You want to create that snowball effect, because the more you reinforce it, the easier it is. And you're going to look back and say, oh, I can't believe I even had that belief system in the first place. In fact, I look at pictures of me in the past and be like, I don't even recognize that person sometimes. Why? Because my belief system has shifted. And the more you're able to shift different belief systems, the easier it becomes. The more you knock out the legs out of that table that holds those belief system, the easier it becomes to change other belief systems that you have in your life. But again, assess what pleasure you get from your old belief system. What's the pain that you would get if you don't change that belief system? If you don't change that belief system in 5 years, how would your life be different? What ways would it hold you back from achieving your dreams, your goals, or whatever it is? Is it going to impact your relationships in a negative way? And then associate enough pain with not changing that belief system. And then associate enough pleasure with changing that belief system. Because if you're able to do that, then you're able to then reinforce and really solidify in your brain that it's not whether I'm going to change it, but it's a must for me to change that belief system. I hope that helps. I know it's a little bit longer than I was expecting. But again, hope you can take some of those tools. Really, if you got to look at the video again, but look at that old belief system, replace it with a new one, and really reinforce it, give it credibility. And the more you can do that, the easier it's going to be for you to really make a lasting impact. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.